Hello and happy Friday. Hope everybody's having a beautiful day. I have Miss Natalie Reads here with me again. Say hello, Natalie.
Hi guys, nice to see you.
And today we're going to be talking all about how the tarot cards have told our story, our life story. How it kind of predicts your life without even pulling a card. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about a little bit different. Instead of you pull a card and it's like, oh, this is my future. We're going to talk about how the Fool's Journey, which is all the major arcana, and we'll break that down in just a moment, what that means. How the Fool's Journey in the tarot card talks about your story. So I'm going to relate it, how it related to my story. She's going to talk about how it related to her story. But before we begin, what do we do? If you guys are here with me on Free Live Training Fridays first, what do? We got to clear the energy. We got to light some sage. And we're going to.
What kind of sage we got today?
Oh, good question. I'm so glad you asked. I got a special sage today, guys. I got my garden sage. This is grown in my garden. I got my garden sage.
What's the essence of starlight?
Ooh, I didn't think about it like that. I just thought it was powerful. We're going to like this. And let me get this lit. And if you guys want some sent to you, if you would like an energy clearing, all you guys have to do in 1 second is you guys are going to hold your hands up. You'll close your eyes and you'll take a deep breath and you'll say, I receive, and I will send you guys some of my, ooh, yeah, look at this. Garden sage. Wow. I receive.
That is beautiful.
I receive. Send some to Natalie and me, and I receive. Sending through the energy channels. Here we go. I'm going to have you send to them for a second because I forgot I did not turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. So we're going to do this so we don't get any interruptions. And we'll give everybody a moment to sign on.
I should do that too, shouldn't I?
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't you know it? That would be when my children are.
Oh, so perfect. Okay, beautiful. All right, so we will keep the sage going. And
I gotta put mine on Do Not Disturb.
Smells so good. I love sage. You guys like sage? You guys use sage? I use it like almost daily, but I use like the different types of smudging sticks. I have so many different ones. Oh, it's smoking really good today.
I know.
I've got like 21 different ones. Actually, give me 1 second. We're going to.
I don't know how to do.
Just turn your volume down.
Siri, turn on Do Not Disturb.
Okay, I'm gonna get us. I think we're up in the Facebook group. Let me open it 1 second, and we'll just give you guys a moment. You can tune into your own body and your vessel. Maybe close your eyes. We'll take a couple deep breaths.
Those are beautiful plumes of sage.
Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And I'm gonna give everybody just a second. We'll slow down here before we start today. And this will also allow everybody else to kind of tune in. It takes people a moment to get in the live. So just focus on your breath for a moment and allow yourself to melt into the here and now. Okay, beautiful. All right, we are up in Facebook and YouTube. All right, so what we're going to do to start today's is we're going to keep the stage going and smoking all session long. But Miss Natalie Reads is going to pull us a daily card, a collective card pull. She's going to get us a beautiful message of love and light. So I'm going to pass it off over to her. Show them what we got.
I need to get my glasses to read the small print, but the top says magic. This is card number 31, if that resonates with anybody, 31 angel number. The frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move toward possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required in our belief is our belief in their manifestation. So basically, you have the power to have anything magically that you can possibly imagine or even dream about. It's all right there. And the frequency of magic is going to support your ability to manifest those things and bring them in. And I think it's a great card to start. I'm going to put it right here so we can watch. A great card for the live today.
Beautiful. Y'all believe in magic? Y'all believe in
If
magic?
they don't believe in magic, I don't know where they're
You
here.
know what the true source of magic is you. And it's
Mhm.
you. And it's me. And that's where the manifestation lies. I am the
Exactly.
magic. I am the manifester. That's how you manifest, because it's your essence, it's your energy. You put it out there, and that's how the manifestation happens, right? It's all based on your vibration. Power of belief, right? So if I don't believe I can manifest, and I don't believe I have the power and all this stuff, it's probably not going to happen. Believe in yourself, that power of belief, you become your heart desires or anything you want to bring into your life, right?
Exactly. Your thoughts are powerful.
Yeah.
You can either manifest worry or you can manifest amazing wonderfulness. It's your choice.
Seriously. And it's a choice.
Yeah.
So
some people like to vibrate in the worry, and that's fine. No shade on them.
Yep. No judgment. There ain't no judgment on these lives. We got no judgment for other people, right? So we're going to start off and we're going to talk about the Fool's Journey. So if you guys are not familiar with the Fool's Journey and what it is, it's the major arcana. So tarot is broken down into two parts. We have the major and the minor. The minor has the 4 suits. The major is all the archetypes. So the majors start with the Fool and they tell a story, and it ends all the way at the world. And so what happens is there is a story of the Fool's Journey, and we're not going to get in that. Do you want to talk about the Fool's Journey?
Sure.
Let's talk about it first.
The Fool's Journey is really a stereotypical archetype of a story. Any story that Star Wars, you've got Han Solo. He is going on a journey. He is starting a journey. We were watching the Lorax last night with the kids. We only got to the beginning part of it, but I was texting you because every imagery, they had the magician, there was the person with all of the answers, then the character of Lorax met a priestess or somebody with all of the information. There was one scene, he was on his quest because of love, so he's got, the lovers were in there, and then he goes on his quest and he's got his little bicycle, he's got the chariot. My favorite, the hermit, he meets the hermit, and that's the kind of the guy who's in charge of the trees. And then, oh my God, there was one scene where the guy's hanging upside down, literally, just like this.
Amazing.
That's when I texted you. I was like, dude, I'm watching the Fool's Journey right here in the Lorax.
She texted me last night, and I was like, we're going to talk about this on the live tomorrow. It's going to be powerful.
The devil, the evil, the bad guy, the one who's playing. But then in the tower, there was a literal scene where there's like lightning coming through, and I was just like, this is every story. If you want to practice with the tarot, pull out the major arcana, sit down with a Disney movie, with any kind of simple movie, and follow along on the Fool's Journey with the cards, and you'll see as you go through, if you put them in order, you can identify the scenes, the archetypes that they meet along the way, and the lessons that the Fool then gains and learns, and makes his journey all the way to the end. At the end of Star Wars, they get like you picture the end moving of Star Wars, right? You've got they're all standing. You don't know Star Wars, but they're all standing there, and they're getting their awards, right? Because they just won the great battle. It's exactly the world card. I mean, they're standing there, they're getting their accolades, and they're ready to start their next adventure. So you see the Fool's Journey everywhere. You probably just didn't know that those were the words associated with it. What about your journey? How did that?
Yeah, so the Fool's Journey, basically, you guys can even look it up. There's like a very short story, and what it does, it tells the story of how it starts with the Fool and ends at the world. And so if you notice, all of these cards, like what the Fool means, it has an archetypical meaning, and so you can relate it back to your life all the way to the end. The 21st card is the world, right? And so you can see, how I've stepped in these archetypes and how I complete huge soul cycles. And so I was reflecting on this, actually, it was probably the end of last summer. I was like, wow, I felt like I was going to the tower and then the star, and I could see it playing out in my life. And I've been wanting to talk about this on one of my lives, and I was just waiting for the right time. And it was beautiful because we were just talking the other day, and I was like, let's get on and talk about this, because the Fool's Journey will play out in all of our lives. Like she said, you can see it in movies, but I want to explain my process with the Fool's Journey. And then we'll talk about actually kind of the Fool's Journey along with it and like what it is. So the Fool's Journey, it starts with the Fool. And so the Fool is always, if you know this card, The card is beautiful. The card is all about taking the leap of faith and trusting the process. It's this new start. It's a fresh beginning, right? And so my Fool's Journey was this whole new chapter, this whole new world. I'm going to say the Fool's Journey. Here's when I woke up outside of the Matrix, because all of a sudden I jumped off this cliff and I was in a whole new reality, right? So this is a brand new chapter, a brand new book, a brand new energy. This is new. Okay. So the Fool for me was when I woke up. Now, when you wake up outside the matrix, you're going to realize you're an infinite spiritual being, and you're going to tap into your manifestation. So that's the magician. He's got all the tools to manifest anything he wants. He's got all the elemental beings here. And so I realized I was a manifester and I could start manifesting anything I want. Okay.
Magic.
Yes. So my story continues, and then the high priestess comes in and she taps into her intuition. This is when I opened my third eye and I started developing psychic gifts, and I was really stepping into my power. Okay. Beautiful energy, high priestess. However, you have to be careful, because the empress will come in and teach you some lessons. The empress is a very motherly energy, but she's all about self-care. And so here I was, like, meditating, doing my yoga and daily practices, but the ego kind of comes in, and then all of a sudden self-care starts slipping. I'm busy with work, I make excuses, whatever happens. And the empress is here. Hello, self-care. It's time to do your self-care. Okay. So it was good. The empress stayed with me for a long period of time. And then all of a sudden it was like the reminder. I stayed in this archetype for a couple years of self-care, and then it started to slip, and I needed that reminder. Do the self-care, because it was slipping because I got so busy with work. I said I went into business hibernation, and I needed the reminders of the empress. Like, I was in this crystal Reiki class, and one girl came up to me and she literally asked me, she's like, "Are you pregnant?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "You are glowing with like fertile energy." And at the time, I wasn't tapping into my spiritual practices. I was a little neglectful. I was so busy working like 18 hours a day. I just launched a business, brand new energy. It was because I needed to tap into my self-care. It was right there. I had another psychic telling me my empath side of me was like screaming and needing attention. It was there. It was outside of me. I just needed to bring it back in. And so the empress was saying, get back in your self-care. Okay. So then comes the emperor. Now the emperor wants to make rules and structure and take action. So here it was. Okay, I need to get back into my habits, my stuff. It's time to take that action step. Enough is enough. And so here I was ready to make the change. And so I had to take the action step. It was hard. I kind of fell off meditation for a little bit. And so jumping back into a 20-minute meditation where I used to just like dimension travel and go drop in and no thoughts. And I was getting in and I couldn't even do like a minute and I had all these thoughts. I wasn't where I was, but I showed up every day and I did the action step. I said, it's hard to drop back where I used to be, but I'm still going to get in. I'm going to take that action step every day. And then that leads into the Hierophant, because that's that spiritual discipline, that commitment that I had to show up and said, hey, I'm not where I used to be, but I'm going to try a minute today, 2 minutes tomorrow, 3 minutes, and keep going every day until I get back to where I used to be. And so this was a test of my commitment. Could I show up for me every day to get my spiritual practices back? Right. So this was that. And then comes in the lovers. Now, the lovers doesn't always have to be about a love relationship. It doesn't have to be about romance. A lot of times it can be self-love, because this can be your masculine and feminine energy. And so what happened within me is I started to get back into my spiritual discipline and my practices. I started feeling better about myself, my self-love, and I was getting more balance. So this was my self-love activation, because I chose me with the spiritual disciplines. Okay.
Love it.
Because I chose that, things started moving forward. This is progression. This is the chariot. This is balance. This is movement. Sometimes it's slow movement, but it gets you out of stagnant and energy starts moving. So as I was starting to see a little bit of results, I was starting to get 2 feet planted back on the ground. I was getting more grounded and I was seeing some result, tangible stuff. Okay. So then I'm activating my strength, because I've tapped into tangible results. I'm feeling good. I'm able to get in meditations again and no thoughts. And I'm starting to pick up where I was before, but I can tap back into my strength, my lion, my lioness energy, right? Because I didn't give up. There was all that determination with the chariot and I didn't give up. Okay. So then we have the hermit. And sometimes things slow down a little bit. And sometimes we need to be reminded. So my slowing down allowed me to go within, deeper within meditation. But I'm a very high, fast, upper chakra, eccentric energy. I'm always up here and I needed to slow down. My ego can get high up, me being racy all the time. And so I was trying to do too much. I can even get addicted to spirituality and just jump into meditations all the time. And the hermit wanted me to slow down and go within. Trying to go so fast sometimes actually stops things from happening. When you slow down, it actually can get energies to speed up, because sometimes you're going so fast, the energy cannot catch up. And so that hermit brought me back to myself so I could slow down and get back to my center. Okay. Then comes the wheel. Now the karmic wheel is going to spin and it's going to turn, and it can lock in place and you can get stuck and stagnant, but that karmic wheel is going to turn, good or bad. There is good or bad karma. And so the universe wants to come in and teach you lessons. Well, my ego started getting control and saying I can do this and all of that. And I wasn't listening. I wasn't fully, I was, but I hadn't fully slowed down. So that karmic wheel turned and it locked in place, and it was going to teach me a very valuable lesson. Now, at the time, I would have told you it was a hardship I went through. Even though I know the universe was teaching me something, it locked in place, and it stayed in place for some time because it had to teach me to truly align with my energy, to slow down to, well, we're going to talk about the story in a second. I don't want to jump ahead. Okay. So then comes the justice. And justice is going to come in. And interesting enough, Uranus was retrograde around this time. And Uranus wanted to teach me time management and structures and bring in the change and be the change and all the stuff. We were in like 5 planets retrograde. This was like June last year. So we had like, we had like 5. I think there was like 5, and then Chiron with 6. There was a lot of planets. Mercury was in for a little bit. At one point we had 7, all these retrogrades. And it's like fairness and swiftest action. It's like, hey, if you don't listen, sometimes that rug gets pulled out from underneath you. Sometimes the justice is in your favor. But I was putting my business, my money over my self-care. I had just launched a new part of my business, and it was thriving. And I was just telling myself I didn't have time. And I wasn't slowing down. And again, I wasn't prioritizing my self-care first. And so they're like, okay, we gave you a chance to listen and learn. Now we're really going to teach you. Okay. So the justice came in, swift, decisive action.
This is one of my favorite cards.
The Hanged Man. Things get stuck. Things get stagnant. I got stuck. And I was in a dark night of the soul, and I didn't know how to get out. And so the Hangman actually asks you to see things from a different perspective. But when you go through dark night of the soul, what happens is you start to see that glass half empty instead of half full. You get in victim mentality and you forget the gratitude. Yeah. Well, things were slipping little by little by little. I was so busy with work. My schedule, I had to close it off for like a month straight because I was so booked and busy. Like I couldn't even get time for myself, yet alone book any more clients. And so because I was just going in this huge momentum energy and forgetting to put myself first, here I am like losing my way. My spiritual practice is what keeps me grounded and centered. I did yoga every day for years. I never stopped meditation twice a day, and I was stopping this. And I was losing my center, my anchor. If I don't have that daily meditation, I lose myself. So here I am stuck, and I'm in dark night soul, and I can't find my way out, right? So somebody says they can't hear me. Can you guys not hear us?
If anybody else is having trouble hearing, can you put it in the comments? Although there's 7 people here, nobody else is saying.
Yeah, and then YouTube side, yeah. And
maybe try coming back, like leaving and coming back. Angel Wings. Hi.
Yeah, let me know if you can hear me. Let me see. Okay.
You're good.
Rebecca. Well, on the Facebook side, they said you're good, and so it should be okay. It might just be on Angel Wings side. So
thank you.
Thank you for letting us know, both of you, because I would hate to keep talking and you guys missed it, right?
These are gems she's dropping. You don't want to miss this.
Yeah. So the Hangman, I have to see things from a different perspective. I have to get myself unstuck. Okay. So what happens is,
what are you looking at that you can look at differently? If you think about like a mirror ball, go to the other side. What are you seeing on the back that you haven't? Yeah. That's kind of what the Hangman tells me.
Yeah. So what happens is the second you start to get yourself out of that victim mentality and more focused on gratitude, that glass half full instead of half empty, in comes the death and rebirth. This is the transition. So I started to see things with a different pair of perspective glasses, right? I started looking at the world differently, and it allowed the transition to happen. It was just starting, but this is that death and rebirth that needs to happen to get you out of that stuck and stagnant energy. Okay. All right, so what happens next is balance is being restored, but there's good and bad days. You don't just bam, one day all of a sudden I'm out of dark night of the soul and everything's fine. There was good and bad, and I had to let the ebb and flow. And I had to know when I had a bad day, just keep going, stay solution focused, don't give up on me, and keep moving forward. And so I had to take the good with the bad, right? But what happens is along the way, the universe still wants to test you. Sure, you have better days. Maybe it's more 60-40 at this point, right? 60 good. and maybe 40 better, or just whatever. I'm just trying to prove a point. And so what happens is the universe is still going to show up. And some days that 40% is intense and it's the devil, it's addictions, it's codependency. For me, it was negative coping mechanisms. Like, what am I going to do when I have a bad day? Am I going to fall into old behavioral patterns? Or am I going to push through it? So this is your shadow showing up to say, hey, it can't be all rainbows and sunshine every day. What are you going to do? Are you going to keep moving forward, or are you going to go back to who you used to be?
What do you chain to that you don't need to be?
Ooh, yes, beautiful. So then there's the tower. And this was the very end of my dark night of soul, but this was the worst part of it, okay? Everything came crashing down. I was at my lowest of lows. Things were really good. Everything else in my life, my business, my money, like everything was good, but I was crashing down and I hit the lowest of low. But what happens is the tower moments happen because sometimes we have to let the tower fall. We have to let it burn all the way down so we can rebuild. And I'm at one of the darkest points and I'm like, I don't know how to get out of this. I'm stuck. Like, what do I do? This allowed me, oh, I'm jumping ahead, but okay. So this was the lowest of the low. So if you ever get in this moment, know that you can only rebuild from that. This happens for a reason. We let the tower go, we would build a new tower. Just, I'm going to keep that out there because a lot of people get this and they get stuck in that tower and they don't know how to get their way out. But this is really good when you get to a tower moment because you're about to take back control of your life, no matter how dark it gets.
One quick thing I'll add a little anecdote.
Yeah.
So I was reading a book about trees from the library.
Yeah.
And they before recently, forest rangers would try to stop forest fires. And, want to stop forest fires. It's dangerous. It can spread, and they realized that the forests need the fires.
Ooh.
They need to burn out all of the death, burn off all of the things that are just not serving the forest anymore. And then from those fires, there are some pine cones that open up when they're under extreme heat.
Seriously,
they do not open up any other way. And when they're in a fire is when they open up, release their seeds, and start the fresh from the new. So I mean,
that's the tower.
The tower can seem like scary, but it's also like thinking about like what is coming, from this death.
Yeah.
From this catastrophic. What beauty is born from that?
See, there's beauty in everything. She's talking about forest fires and how the tree,
pine cone.
The pine cones are opening up even in more beauty because that's what happens next is the star. And this is where hope.
That's the thing.
Inspiration. Yes. So this has a purpose. So no matter what's happening in life, there's always something to be positive for, and we can focus on what we can learn, why we manifest this, how we can grow, because there's always a positive in everything, including her story, the forest fire. So here's my hope. My hope moment was, I was in that dark moment, that tower moment, and I asked myself, what would I tell my coaching client? Like, how would I advise them? How would I coach them out of this situation? Bam, light bulb moment. I saw a light at the tunnel. The star moment came in and I knew how to get myself out of it. I wasn't out of it because I still had to remember, take those steps and get myself out of it. But I saw hope because I knew that there was a way out. Okay. So then comes the moon. And the moon is all about our shadow. And so here's where I do the real work. Every day I'm struggling, but I'm still going to keep going, because I know I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I have something to move forward to. So this was the real work, putting in every day to get myself out of the dark night of the soul, your subconscious, changing those limited beliefs. That is the moon.
And that's really, everybody struggles with this, because even I'm sitting here feeling like I have imposter syndrome. Who am I? But that's what the moon is there to remind you of, is that you're not alone in feeling that. And it's okay to feel that way, but it's also, the opposite is also true as well.
Yeah. Thank you. Then comes the sun. Well, because I didn't give up and I kept pushing through and did the real work through the moon. Positivity. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can bathe in it. I haven't fully become the light, but it's tangible now. I'm seeing positivity. My mindset is shifting into more gratitude and humble and positive energies of love and light. Okay. So then I allow it to become me. I'm now becoming the light. And here it is. Rejoice, celebration, the true surrender, the true release. It's over. It's behind me. I've made it to the other side. I didn't give up on me. I kept pushing through. I release. I surrender. I forgive. I move forward. This is my judgment. This is my exhale. It's over. So what happens at the end? You close out a soul cycle. The world completes it. No more dark night of the soul. My dark night of the soul was over. I got into the joy vibration and I was at the best place in my whole life. And I'd never been happier. And here's what happened. I lived my whole life here at the Matrix. And then I woke up and it skyrocketed up here, right? And then what happened is you think you can't go higher. You go 10 times higher. Like here's a good way to explain dark night of the soul. So you go down. Let me see if I can get this on camera for a second. So you go down and then you go up higher and then you go down and then you go up higher and then you go down, you go up higher and you go down, you go up higher. Let's try that again. So each down gets you higher. Each down gets you higher. Each down, each darkening of the soul or pivotal moment or full moon or whatever it is, you go higher and higher and higher. I go, I didn't know my vibration get any higher. I didn't know I could be happier. I didn't know I could open up to love more. I thought I was in the best place in my life before dark night of the soul. And when this dark night of the soul ended, it's like I went from here to here to here and you keep going up higher and higher and higher. So it was important. And I closed out a huge cycle. And I'm so grateful I went through it because I couldn't be happier. And I learned so much and I found me and I grew and I'm able to take these lessons to now even help more people and things, these valuable tools that I realized with myself saying, hey, my coaching clients come to me and they're stuck in dark night of the soul. How did I get out of it? I've got a whole bunch of stuff new that I've tried and I know that works. And now I can give back that energy to help others so they can close out their own soul cycle. Right. And so your story doesn't have to be about your spiritual awakening. It doesn't have to be about dark night of the soul. But I wanted to tell my story so you see these archetypes play out in your life every day, everywhere you step in these energies of your true strength of character, right? Your motherly energies of how you either mother your kid or your mother mothers you, your self-love, your romantic relationships. There's so much, your pitfalls, like what you learn and how you grow. This talks about who you are.
And just because you've made it to the world, do you think
No, you got to start over. The world, and then you sit in the world, and then it's bam, we in a new book, a new chapter. You know, we're going to go through the journey again and again and again.
In the movie The Lorax,
yeah.
At one point they do a flashback where they interview or they're talking to the guy who's kind of the archetype of the hermit. And he starts telling his story and it's just another fool's journey all over again. And like, just because you're at the world doesn't mean you don't find yourself back at the Fool or anywhere else along the way. Those, they come up throughout your life. Just, you know, once you make it to the end doesn't mean that it's the end.
Yeah.
It just starts all over again.
Yeah.
We get to do it and we get to do it again.
Yeah. And you can tap into different ones. Like I could be stuck in the hermit for a while, but then the self-love might come back in and might remind me. So it's not that it always has to be this progressional thing, this linear thing. Like today I might go through 7 archetypes. Next week it just depends. Like let it fluctuate within you, tap in those energies. And when you feel stuck and stagnant, call upon that. I need the chariot to pull me out, to give me some balance. Tap into that chariot energy. When you feel lost and you need some hope, tap into that star energy, right? Like if you need to surrender, tap into the judgment. So you can use these for your benefit, just as they will use you. And use, that's a bad word, but like use, I always say work with the energies so they don't work against you, because the energies are going to work for you, but have them work in your favor. So that's when you take back control. You get in the driver's seat and then you start being in control of how the energies play out. So you're like, hey, today I choose to be a manifester, right? Today I choose to take action steps and get grounded in foundational energies. And so you can be in control of your own life, and the tarot talks about it here.
We are in control of our own lives. Every step of the way we are in control. Whether you're driving like this or whether your eyes are open, you are the one who is in charge.
Yep. Beautiful. All right, let me check these comments because I saw people were coming in and I was wanted to stick with the live. Okay. What is in your chart that indicates that you have the ability to read cards? Well, here's the thing. We can look at birth charts and that can tell you about a person, but we all have the ability to tap into our own intuition and open our psychic gifts. So sure, there are more signs that they say maybe a little bit more intuitive, but no, anybody can become a psychic. Anybody can tap into your intuition. So
it's another sense. Everybody has levels of sight and sound and smell and taste and touch.
Yeah.
And everyone has different levels of intuition. You have it. It's whether or not you are doing anything to amplify it, or if you're letting the matrix quiet it.
Yeah. And that's why this class we're going to talk about here in a second activates and awakens the intuition. So thank you, Ira Eyes from YouTube. Angel Wings, hello, hello. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Let's see what else is going on here. Rebecca, so happy to have you in here. Angel wings. I can't wait to exhale. Okay, it's coming. It's coming. It will always come in, because as the sun comes up every day and then it goes down, the moon always comes up. Everything happens in cyclical patterns. So don't worry. The sun brings the sunshine. The moon brings the emotion, the subconscious.
Death brings birth.
There has to be balance. You cannot have light without dark. You will always be in a cyclical pattern.
If you're always in the light, how would you know it's the light?
Yeah.
How would you know if you never saw the dark?
Exactly. Right.
You
there
would think
has
that
to
you're
be
in dark right
yeah.
then, right?
Yeah.
You have nothing to compare.
A lot of clarity.
Yeah.
You have to have the polar opposites. Glad to see you. It has been a while. Yes, it has been a while. I've missed you on the lives. Hope you'll be back on a Tuesday with me, Angel Wings.
Oh my gosh, we have something special planned for next Tuesday.
Oh yeah, we do. We're gonna keep that secret, but you're gonna have to join the live Tarot Tuesdays to know what we got going on Tuesday.
I can feel the vibe so much.
But we're gonna talk about some things now. So you guys have been with us as we've been talking about the tarot. We're gonna expand this a little bit. And I've explained this on the last couple of Fridays, and so I'll keep it kind of short. But what happened was we both together took this tarot class, and it allowed us to tap into our intuition.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Sandy, if you're watching. That's our tarot teacher. She helped us allow us to tap into our intuition. My third eye opened at that point and became a psychic. And so when we realized it can be very simple, that these are tools to help you channel, we want to give that back to others, because anybody can open their third eye. Anyone can become a psychic. Anyone can activate their intuition. And so we developed a 6-week course where you can intuitively learn tarot, and you become your own intuitive, instead of having somebody else read your cards and wondering having somebody else do your future. We have this course, this 6-week course, where you're going to become your own intuitive. That's why we named it Intuitive Tarot. And I'm going to have her break down the class a little bit and show you the workbook that we're going to be using.
So we worked on a workbook today. Here's the draft. Look at that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with just the basics, and we're going to talk about how to use tarot as a tool, how to ground yourself beforehand. It's not like Monopoly where you can just pull out the game and start. You've got to prepare yourself, because it's kind of like driving a car without having taken any driving lessons. You're going to crash. So kind of grounding yourself and developing your own personal rituals around tarot. And rituals are so important. We're all doing rituals every day, whether you realize it or not.
Yep.
You're either doing conscious rituals or unconscious rituals. And so just developing a ritual around your tarot practice. And then we're going to go into the major arcana, and I broke the Fool's Journey into 3 different acts.
I like it.
So here's the major arcana. And then I just got a one paragraph of the first act of the Fool's Journey. And then we go through. So the first act kind of goes from the Fool card through the Hermit. And then starting with the Hangman starts Act 2 all the way through to Death. And then Act 3 would be starting with Temperance and then going through to the World. And so we'll kind of talk about that. And as a class, we'll also talk about, maybe your how you can relate to the Fool's Journey as well. And then from there, we'll start talking about the minor arcanas. So you've got the wands and the cups and the pentacles and the swords. And we'll go through what each suit means, how fire is associated with wands and water is associated with cups. We'll go through what astrological signs are associated with that and what that all means. And I think that's probably about the first 2 classes. Yeah. Because that's a lot of information. And then once we're done with that, then you and I talked about how to approach the minor arcana in the suits. And we thought it would be great to just do it as part of the numerology. So we're going to talk about all of the ones together and how ones are beginnings and potential and origins and roots. And then I go into each of one of the cards. I give you a little bit of a paragraph or 2 about ones and what they could mean when you see ones. And then we'll go through all the numbers. And I think between 1 through 10 will probably be about
3 a week-ish.
Yeah.
And then one week we'll do.
Yeah. And then the last week we'll have tarot meets archetypes. And so I took each one of the suits, the court cards. So you've got the, depending on your deck again, we talked about that last time, but you've got, pages, knights, queens, and kings, and how those are the archetypes of the family. So pages would be the youth. children, naive, new, but new associated with wands. So for uh, if you have a page of wands, that would be thinking about an idea or a plan. If you've got the page of swords, it's thinking about thinking about an idea, right? You're kind of formulating a plan. And then you get into the knights, which are a little bit more mature, but they're not necessarily balanced, like the divine feminine of the queen and the divine masculine of the king. They're still, while they're not as naive as the page, they're still immature. So there's kind of the impulsivity. Knights bring fire to the suit. So where wands are fire, you've got the knight. So if you've got the knight of wands, that's a fiery fire energy. And what that could mean. And again, you're taking a look at it in relation to the rest of the spread, but looking at the cards and the archetypes, the divine feminine or the queen, where is she bringing her water energy to the suits? So the queen of wands is going to add a little bit of water to that fire, kind of cool things down and add sort of a balance to it. And then finally, the archetype, the kings, and what the divine masculine brings. So the divine masculine is the earth energy, and where it is, you get earth plus fire, and you've got the starting of something new, the start of something tangible from that idea, because the earth is the tangible, where the fire is kind of that energy, action, motion, energy, moving. And that kind of takes us to the last part of our class. And then I think the last class we had talked about maybe doing like spreads or bringing it up, practicing and bringing it all together. Yeah. So that's our 6-week course in a nutshell. You'll get a PDF of this that we'll send out, each week we'll send the pages that we're going to use. But if you want to, we'll print some and you guys can buy them, and we will, if you're not local, we'll ship them to you. If you want a book. If you want the book. And then, because at the end of it, this is all going to go together as a book. And at the very end, if you do buy it, I've got each one of the cards as a page. It's a full page. I didn't print those out. It's a full page of the card with a lot of blank space. And my intention for that is for you to have that out while we're doing the class and write keywords. Write things as you think about them. Write the words that will mean something to you. And then you take that workbook, and then you're going to use that workbook. I did something similar, and I have from when I did this for myself, and I've got all my keywords and stuff, and every once in a while I'll still pull it out and see what did I say, but then the more you do it, the less you'll need to. It'll be more on your the tip of your tongue, and you won't have to pull out books or look at notes or things like that. It can just go with listen, because the intention of tarot really is not to predict the future. It's not to predict the future. It's to tap into your intuition.
Yeah, and that's what we want to teach you, where you don't read the book.
Exactly. You should be able to look at the cards and have the foundation of what we're talking about. Kings are earth, water, or queens are water. Taking into those and the cues of the imagery of the card, 5 of Pentacles, and taking cues from that, and then listening to the voice that's inside, because everybody has a little voice that's talking to them. It's the matter of turning the volume up on that voice and turning the volume down on all the other voices that are not yours. Mm-hmm. The voices of the matrix, the voices of your, family and guilt and obligation and all of those, should. Anytime your voice in your head says should, that is not you talking. That is somebody else. That is external. And you need to focus on what is my intuition telling me? What is coming from me, and what is not coming from me? What do I need to hold from here, and what do I need to amplify in myself? And that's kind of what tarot is doing with you, is giving you a tool to have in your hand as you're focusing on the voice that's coming into your head, so you can say, when this card
I knew it was going to be the same one. I was about to say it too. I was like, she just showed the 5 of Pentacles. I was going to say it. Damn. And then it is. It is. It jumped out. Oh, you can't see it. Yeah.
So, and to say, like, when that comes out, now the 5 of Pentacles, this is telling me that I am focusing on what I don't have and not focusing on what I have, which is everything within my power. And that's kind of like what I'm going through right now with this imposter syndrome I'm feeling. And this is telling me I need to see the things that are real and stop focusing on the things that I think are not real, or the things that I'm dwelling on.
Mm-hmm. The stories you keep telling yourself.
Thank you.
You're allowing that to be your truth, even though you know
Exactly.
that's not true. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because there's a little voice in my head right now saying, "Who do you think you are to sit here and read cards for people? You're just a mom of 4 who like has a hobby. Like, come on."
No, she ain't. Let me tell you, before I even tapped into my intuition and my psychic abilities, she was doing collective readings and channeling, and she's in her bathtub pulling cards, and I was like, how do you do that?
And-
Please teach me your ways. I'm like, she's tapped in, but we all can tap into that energy, right? And imposter syndrome, we all tap into that too. It's an archetype. There's plenty of archetypes out there that aren't even in tarot, but that's not common if you're feeling that either. And listen, we want to help everybody. I knew that's twice. That's twice on guys. Tuesday.
Do you know how to? We have to figure out how to get that onto TikTok. Yeah. I'm not on TikTok, but she is. But we got to put those clips on there because those are like, it's amazing. It's magic.
On Tuesday, she pulled the 4 of Cups, and then all of a sudden, she's like,
"Oh, we were talking about the 4 of Cups for like 2 minutes."
Yeah. Oh,
and
that's
then
what happened.
I just pulled out. Oh, wait. I just pulled out this deck, and I went, "Can I get?"
And then it was the 4 of Cups.
And you know.
And then it was, and the same thing just happened now. She showed the 5 of Pentacles, and then it came out again. So
it's a beautiful card.
Tapping into the magic energy that we can all tap into. So we want to help you guys tap into your own psychic senses, your own intuition.
You have this magic within your fingers.
Exactly.
This is not. I'm not special. Not unique. We all have it. The thing is that the world that we have been living in, the society, the culture that is surrounding us, is designed to put you in a jar, take that fairy and put the jar and put the lid on it so that they can just put us on the shelf and enjoy us. But we're not meant to be in those jars, because when you're in that jar, you're just kind of in your own little world. We are magical fairies. When we are creating this universe, the question we need to ask ourselves is, who have we been creating it for in the past, and who do we want to create it for moving forward? Do we want to continue to create the things that we have always created, or are we ready for something new? I'm ready for something. Are you ready for something new?
Every day.
I'm so ready for something new.
Every day. Yes. Totally. So beautiful. So we're going to start this class, and it starts next Tuesday on 2/22. There's a 222 portal. And here's what we got going on. Only on this live session. Now, let me tell you, if you guys want to sign up for the class and you want to pay full price, and if you want to pay it in full, you do get a discount. It is $222. Okay. However, if you'd like weekly options, we do 44.
Not everybody's got that money up front. If you want to pay by the week, that's fine.
No worries. It's only $44 a week for 6 weeks. It's the cheapest thing that
one takeout dinner.
Yeah.
Make spaghetti instead of getting takeout.
$44 a week for 6 weeks. You tap into your own intuition, become your own guru, wake up with psychic senses, and you learn tarot, right? For me, I learned tarot just for me. It wasn't even to go do readings. That came later, and it doesn't even have to be be a tarot reader. Awaken you spiritually, tap into your own self, tap into your own intuition. But what we're going to do, if you are on the live on the YouTube or the private Facebook group, we're going to drop a link. It's already in the description of the video on YouTube and in the description of the video on Facebook. I will drop it into the chat here in a second. But if you sign up from this live only and from this link only, you will get an extra 22% off of the 222. Now, that is not for the weekly special. If you do pay every week, it is $44. That's the most expensive offer we have. But other than that, you can get an additional 22% off. And like I said, it starts next Tuesday. We have 2 classes available. She's local, Mundelein, Illinois. She's doing it at the Fremont Library. If you're local and you want to do the class in person, Natalie Reads will be doing it. If you're not,
register 2 people, grab a friend.
Yeah. And if you're not local and you're wherever you're at in the world, you want to do it virtually, you're going to do the class with me. We're going to jump on a video call, and we'll be meeting same time as her. We'll be tapping those same energies, but ours will be virtually, and it will be Wednesdays at 7 p.m. It will start. It's 90 minutes each week, so we'll go to 8:30 Central Standard Time, okay? So Central Standard Time, make sure you check the time zones, because I know people that have already been signing up are in different places of the world. So 7 p.m. to 8:30 Central Standard Times for 6 weeks, okay? And all you need to do is, with registering, you just have to get your own deck, and any deck will work. We're going to talk about the differences in the decks, because we're going to go over not just numerology, not just the archetypes, not just the majors, not just the minors. We're going to go over the imagery. We're going to go over astrology. We're going to go over zodiac signs and planetary placement and all of this beautiful energies. So there's so much it's so many different layers to this that we're going to go over. So any deck that appeals to you, I actually encourage everybody to have a different deck, so we can talk about the differences and why they're the same, but they're different at the same time. And we'll do all that in the class. Anything you want to add, Miss Natalie Reads?
There's no wrong answer with tarot. I feel like maybe that first question kind of tapped into it too, but just it's what you say it is. You are it's your intuition. They're just an extension of your hands. They're just the cards are just a tool, but it's really you. So it's whatever you say it is. And if you want to get a deck and throw out the book and make it up, that's exactly what it is. That's what it was meant to be. And there are no wrong answers with tarot, just like there's no wrong answers in life.
Yep. Beautiful. And so here in just a minute, I will drop the links in to get the 22% discount. Again, it starts next week. If you guys have any questions, reach out, DM me, send me an email, starryadream@gmail, message me on Facebook, however you like. I'm here to answer any questions that you like. And hope you guys got something valuable out of today's lesson, and hope to see you guys in the class. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching.
Have a wonderful weekend. And it's the new moon in Pisces on Monday.
Yep. Beautiful. And then Miss Natalie Reads are coming back with me Tuesday.
I'm gonna try.
All right, live Tarot Tuesday. She should be with us.
Oh my gosh, you guys, it's gonna be fun.
Yes. And then thank you guys so much for watching. If you got anything out of this video, do me a favor and that thumbs up button this way. I know you got something and it resonated. If you guys haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. There's a bell too. You want the bell and turn on all notifications. I don't want you guys to miss out on any upcoming messages. That next message just might be the message that you need to hear today. All right, my loves. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time.